Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Gates playthrough. I've already got everything set up. I am obviously using the Gates expansion. We've got barricades, the heroes, and our shop consists of the woodcutter, martyr, blacksmith, and gambler. And my three starting cards. I was given the peddler and the monk at random, and I chose to take the guard. And so with that, I'll just go ahead and get started by revealing the first enemy. We've got the Lost Corpse. 2 health, deals 1 damage to the mill, increases fear by 1. You may not calm your citizens while the Lost Corpse is active. Okay. Well, I'm just going to immediately use the guard to deal 1 damage, buffed by 1 from the tower, to kill the Lost Corpse by dealing 2 damage. So there's that, and now I have 2 income from the peddler, 1 from the monk, plus 1 from the farm, gives me a total of 4 income. So I will go ahead and spend all 4 of it to grab the woodcutter. So the woodcutter costs 4, gives 1 income, 2 repair, does 2 damage, and barricades cost 1 less this turn. So if you combine the woodcutter with your mill ability, which says barricades cost 1 less if the mill has 2 health, your barricades only cost 1 income to place. So whenever you draw the woodcutter, you can just like fill up your barricade slots really quickly, and it's one of the most powerful cards in the game, in my opinion. But with that, we will draw the next enemy, and we have the Flyclops. 3 health, deals 1 damage to the tavern, and increases fear by 1. So I gotta draw 3, so I will shuffle these up. And then draw 3. So 1, 2, 3. We have all my starting cards again. So the Peddler, Monk, and Guard. Oh, I forgot to... Ooh, the Guardian. Guardian costs 5 and can deal 2 damage. So that's pretty good, but it would take my entire hand to buy it. The Flyclops arguably helps me this turn, because it would give me a hero card added to my deck. So I can either spend 4 income and deal 2 damage to the Flyclops with the guard, and then use 4 income to buy the blacksmith or the martyr, or I could just use all of my income to grab the guardian. I think I'm gonna do 2 damage to the Flyclops, and then spend 4 income on the blacksmith. And the reason I'm choosing this instead of the guardian is because this, if I draw it with the woodcutter, can deal the same amount of damage in a turn as if I had drawn the guardian and the woodcutter in the same hand. But the difference is that this gives me income and can repair on that same turn. So that's why I'm choosing blacksmith instead of the guardian here. Plus I get to do 2 more damage on this turn that I wouldn't get to do otherwise. And then the next card is the assassin. Okay, so the Flyclops will deal 1 damage to the tavern, increase fear by 1, and then give us a random hero, which I will just kind of set off to the side here. It's a little out of frame, but that's okay. Then this will scooch over, and we will reveal the next monster, the Doomskull. 3 HP, deals 1 damage to the gate, and the Doomskull deals 1 damage to the gate when first revealed. So the gate will take 1 damage, and I will draw 3 cards again. That's 1. And then go ahead and shuffle all these up again. So... Okay. So 1, 2, 3. We have the woodcutter, the peddler, and the monk. Okay. I'm not too worried about the Doomskull. I'll go ahead and use the woodcutter to deal 2 damage, buffed by 1 from the tower, to deal 3 damage, to take down the Flyclops and deal 2 damage to the Doomskull. And then I have 3 income plus 1 from the farm. And so I'm going to grab the Assassin. So the Assassin, you may trash a card in hand after using it. This will let me get rid of my starting cards and then thin out my deck so it's just Blacksmith and 2 damage, like Blacksmith, Assassin, and the Woodcutter. And then if I can just draw those 3 cards the entire game, then that would win the game on the spot pretty much. So with that, Doomskull will deal 1 damage to my gate, scooch over, and then reveal the next enemy, which is the Skelipede, 3 HP and 2 damage to the tower. Skelipede can be very terrifying, because your tower is arguably your most important building, right behind your farm. So something that just tries to destroy this is a little spooky. So we'll go ahead and draw 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. We have the Blacksmith, the Guard, and the Traveler. The Traveler is a hero, has 1 of every stat, and you may draw 2 more cards. So I'll go ahead and shuffle these up. And then see what we draw. So 1, 2. We have all of our starting cards, the Traveler and the Blacksmith. Wow, so our Assassin and the Woodcutter are at the bottom. That is mildly unfortunate. But that's okay. I'm going to use the Blacksmith to double the attack of another card. And I'm going to use it to double the Guard. So the Guard is going to deal 2 damage, plus 1 from the tower. So it'll deal a total of 3 damage. And I'm going to have it kill the Skelipede. Then I will go ahead and use the Traveler to deal 1 damage to the Doomskull. Removing it from my deck. And so the Doomskull will go away. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, plus 1 from the farm. I have 5 that I can spend. And technically I shouldn't want to add a bunch of cards to my deck. But I'll just spend 5 on the Guardian. I don't think that's a bad idea. Okay. Reveal another card, the Wizard. 6 cost, 2 of every stat, lets you draw 1 more card. Okay, wave 2 now. We've got the Shell Spawn. 4 HP, 2 damage to the mill, increase fear by 1. The Shell Spawn ignores barricades. So I'll draw 3 cards. There's 2 in my deck. So I'll shuffle these up and then draw 1 more. Okay. We've got the Woodcutter, the Assassin, and the Guard. So I'm going to use the Woodcutter to deal 2 damage, and the Guard to deal 1 damage, plus 1 from the tower. That's a total of 4 damage. And that will kill the Shell Spawn. And I have the Assassin in my hand, so I may trash a card in my hand after using it. Why is my lighting going everywhere? There we go. So I can trash a card in hand after using it. So I'm going to trash the Guard and remove it from my deck. And now I have the Woodcutter in my hand. I have the Assassin, so I'm going to use 2 income from the Assassin, plus 1 from the farm. Barricades only cost 1 this turn, so I'm going to use that 3 income to build 3 barricades. 1 in front of the gate, 1 in front of the tower, and 1 in front of the farm. Okay. So next wave 2 enemy, we have the Rat Lord. 6 HP, does 2 damage to the gate. Okay. So I will draw 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. We have the Guardian, the Peddler, and the Monk. So I will use 2 damage from the Guardian, plus 1 from the tower, deal 3 damage to the Rat Lord. And then I've got 3 plus 1 from the farm. I've got 4 income. I'll go ahead and spend that 4 income on 2 more barricades, just because why not? I could use it to buy the Martyr, and the Martyr is very good, but as I mentioned, I'm going to try to keep my deck as small as possible. So Ratlord will attack this barricade, and the barricade will block that damage. Ratlord will take 1 damage. We'll scooch over and reveal the next wave 2 monster, the Blood Monk. No! So the Blood Monk has 4 HP, does 2 damage to the tavern, increases fear by 1, and removes all damage tokens when it is revealed. So unfortunately, all that damage I just did to the Ratlord goes away. Then we'll draw 3 cards. There's 1. I get 2 more. Shuffle it up. Okay. And then 1, 2. So we have, oh boy, we have the Blacksmith, the Woodcutter, and the Guardian. All right. This is a juicy hand. So I'm going to go ahead and use the Blacksmith to double the attack of my Guardian. So it's doing 4 damage, and then +1 from the tower, so it's dealing a total of 5 damage. So I'll go ahead and use that 5 damage to kill the Blood Monk, and then deal 1 damage to the Ratlord. Then I'll use the Woodcutter to deal 2 more damage to the Ratlord. And then I'll use the Blacksmith, who has an income of 1, +1 from the farm, 2 income. I'll spend 1 of it to build a barricade. I don't know what to spend the other 1 on, so I will just pass the turn there. Ratlord's going to attack this barricade and then take 1 damage. And then we will reveal another wave 2 enemy. It is the Dark Priest. 5 HP, 2 damage to the tower, and increase fear by 1. Okay. So I'll draw 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. We've got the Assassin, the Peddler, and the Monk. That is glorious. I will use the Assassin to deal 2 damage, +1 from the tower, to deal a total of 3 damage. And I think I will deal 3 damage to the Dark Priest, actually. I will use the Monk, 1 income, +1 from the farm, to place a barricade in front of the gate. And then, since the Assassin was in my hand, I will use the Assassin to trash the Monk after using it. And then with my Peddler and 2 more income, I will deal 1 damage to the Dark Priest by buying the Call to Arms command. Okay. So now the Ratlord will deal 1 damage to the gate, or sorry, 2 damage to the gate. It will get blocked by this barricade, and the Ratlord will take 1 damage. And then the Dark Priest will attempt to deal 2 damage to the tower, which will also get blocked by the barricade. And then it will take 1 damage. That'll be its 5th damage, and so it will perish. Okay. And so then we'll reveal, we're on to wave 3 now. We've got the Abomination. 6 HP, deals 2 damage to the farm, increases fear by 1. Okay, I need to draw 3 cards, so I'll give these a quick shuffle. My deck is getting a lot smaller all of a sudden. There's only 5 cards in it now. And then I'll draw 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, we've got the Blacksmith, Guardian, and Woodcutter again. I'll use Blacksmith to double the attack of the Guardian to 4, and then get +1 from the tower. So that is 5 damage with the Guardian. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 damage to the Abomination. And then with that, barricades cost 1 less this turn, and I still have the mill up, so my barricades are only going to cost 1. So I will use, I mean, I could just do 2 damage with the Woodcutter. Yeah, I'll just do 2 damage to the wood with the woodcutter, dealing 1 damage to each of them, which will kill both of them. And then, since barricades only cost 1 this turn, I will use the blacksmith's 1 income plus 1 from the farm to build 2 more barricades. We are barricaded up. Okay. Next wave 3 enemy, we have the Death Guard. 6 HP, 1 damage to the tower, and 2 fear. I'll go ahead and draw 3 cards. Only got 3 cards left, so it's either going to be the Blacksmith, the Woodcutter, or the Guardian. Draw it up. We've got the Blacksmith. All right. So I'm going to use the Blacksmith once again, double the attack of the Assassin, up to 4, plus 1 from the tower, dealing 5 damage to the guard. 5 damage. And now I've got the Peddler and the Blacksmith. I will use the Peddler to pay 2 to buy Call to Arms and kill the Death Guard. And then I will use the 2 repair from the Blacksmith to repair 1 to the Tavern and 1 to the gate. Oh, and then since I had the Assassin in my hand, I will trash the Peddler after using it. So now my deck is down to just 4 cards. Okay, so draw the next wave 3 enemy. We have the Devourer. 6 HP, 1 damage to each location, and increase fear by 1. Okay, I will draw 3 cards. Once again, I draw 2, and then I get to draw another one. It'll either be the Blacksmith or the Assassin. Okay, draw. It is the Assassin. All right. So I don't have the Blacksmith in my hand, but I can just deal 6 damage with these cards. And then the Assassin says you may trash 1 card in hand after using it, but it doesn't specify that you can't use it on herself. So I'm just going to use the Assassin to trash herself from my deck after using her. I'll just put it as like a discard over here next to the shop. While doing 2, 4, 6 damage, plus 1 from the tower is 7 damage total, which is more than enough to kill the Devourer. And then now my deck is just down to 3 cards, and you draw 3 cards per turn, so I will be drawing the same 3 cards from now on. Last wave 3 enemy before Zogar is the Tentesteed. 5 HP, 2 damage to the mill, increase fear by 1. They won't stand a chance. I will draw my 3 cards. I have the Blacksmith, Woodcutter, and Guardian. I'll use the Blacksmith to double the damage of the Guardian, which can do 4, plus 1 is 5, and so that will kill the Tentesteed. And now I have the Woodcutter and Blacksmith. I will use the Blacksmith to repair my gate, and now I will use the Woodcutter. I will use 1 income from the Woodcutter, plus 1 from the farm, and I will get the Festival command to calm 1. So I'm hoping that I can finish this game here with full barricades, everything fully repaired, and fear at 0 to just style on these enemies. So now we have Zogar. 8 HP, deals 2 damage to each location, and increases fear by 2. So I will draw my 3 cards again. It's always going to be the same 3. I will use the Blacksmith to double the Guardian to deal 4 damage, plus 1 from the tower. That is 5 damage. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 damage to Zogar. The Woodcutter will deal an additional 2 damage. And then, lastly, the Blacksmith. I will spend 1 income, plus 1 from the farm, and I will buy Call to Arms, dealing 1 more damage to Zogar, and that totals up to 8 damage, and so Zogar, on the turn that he spawns in, is immediately killed. And so that, ladies and gentlemen, is effectively a flawless victory of Gates It really doesn't get much better than that. I killed every single enemy that came in. They didn't, not a single one leaked. I still have everything fully barricaded, fully repaired, no fear, and all of that with a deck of just 3 cards. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video.